Aaron asked me to check out the USD Swiss franc and to get my thoughts on this pair. So let's go ahead and see how we can dissect this. Now, for one, when I zoomed out on the daily, I was like, holy moly, that is a thing of beauty. That is a thing of beauty. Sorry, I missed it. But the great thing about Forex is that there's always another party. There's always another great trade right around the corner. So don't worry about it. As we can see here, it took a massive dive down, and nothing goes down forever because of the velocity and all of those, pretty much, well, they're white here, but all these sell candles, so much red. It acted just like a slingshot in essence, where it just propelled it right back up to its previous levels of resistance and support. This was resistance over here, sorry. It broke through just for a little bit, but came crashing back down. Because again, just like how this wasn't sustainable, neither is this. So it has to reset, right? It's probably looking to try to settle down somewhere. Let's take a look at the weekly to get an idea. Holy moly. So there's that's the biggest explanation right there as to why this happened, is because it got rejected from the 200 weekly moving average. That is a major. Remember, the bigger the time frame, so versus the 15-minute time frame, hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, then when you get to the daily and the weekly time frames, these areas of support and resistance are basically magnified. They're even more powerful. So a rejection off of the 4-hour 200 moving average is not as strong. Even though it's strong, it's nowhere near as strong as a rejection from the 200 weekly moving average. So we see here we got this rejection and it sent it screaming down. Then it came back up to test this level. And as you can see, it was also encountering we have a cross here. So it is almost like three different moving averages converging into one. It came up and met the 50, the 250, and the 100, and came screaming right back down again. So this is definitely off of that rejection. Now, let's see. Holy moly. Wow. Okay, here's another explanation. If we look left, right, if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, look left. So why would we have known that around here would have been a good time for a buy? Because if we look left, we can see that this was a previous area of major support, right? When we hit down here, it sent us flying all the way up here for quite some time. And this is the first time we've actually come back down since, what date is this? 2018. That's how significant that was. We've never been back down to this level since 2018. What's this? February 2018 to be exact. So now here we are back almost 2 years later. Took about 2 years to get back down here. So of course, when we hit this level again, that could only signify once again a major support level. So we've gone screaming back up here. However, we may be trying to break. Woo, Lord of mercy. Look at that. Oh boy. Oh boy. This means we have to end back up down here. But of course, it can take a while, right? Because this was 2015 we've been down there. So we've been on pretty much on an uptrend since 2015. And now it looks like we are finally starting to break down. And this, I feel, is not the end. Long term, I think we're going to definitely end up back down here. Okay, sorry about the notices on my phones, guys. I think we're going to definitely end up back down here. But will we go straight down right away? I don't think so. However, it looks like long term the play is actually going down. Now we may get a bit of a retracement. Normally it's not uncommon for for these long candles to at least retrace at least 50% of the way and then continue back in the direction that they were going, right? But you know, so this is not really the best place, in my opinion, to get into a trade right now, because this candle is so huge already. We could see it stop at this point or maybe somewhere around here and just do a retracement and then continue its way back down. So I would either wait for the retracement or for more significance, wait till it breaks past this level. If we break past this level, then we should be heading for much further downside, heading down towards this area. So I would say if we break past down here like 89, around there, maybe I'll set an alert in my system so that it can tell me when we're somewhere around here, because when we've done that, we have broken past all of these levels of support that are coming up. And if we get past here, folks, I think it is, woo, it is all downhill. I mean, look at that. Look at all those pips that you can pick up down here. I mean, it's one of my trading strategies is trading the path of least resistance. And there is literally no resistance. Look at that. In this whole zone, there's no resistance in here. Since 2015, no resistance in this zone. So if we break down here, wow, we're definitely heading down. Okay, but that's what we're looking for. So long-term play with this, I think is definitely down. The other reason I think that is because look at the 50 moving average right here, the green line. Anytime we're about to have a death cross, it looks like it's coming up. A death cross is where the 50 moving average crosses below the 200 moving average, okay? And this 50 moving average is coming down. It looks like it's going to soon actually cross that 200 moving average, and that is definitely a bearish signal, big time. Normally when we have a death cross, it means major downward movement, okay? And a golden cross is when the 50 moving average crosses above the 200. So for example, look over here, we had the 200 just about to cross here, right? Now before we did that, there was this ridiculous, guys, this is why with a pair like this, you got to make sure you put your stop losses in place, because I mean, look at this thing in 1 week. I mean, wow, this is crazy. Literally in 1 week, look at that downward movement in 1 week. 83. Wow, that is crazy. It's like over 2,000 pips or something like that. That is crazy in 1 week. So imagine a person not having their, if they had a buy order in here and they didn't have a proper stop loss, absolutely they would have gotten wiped out. I mean, that is crazy. That will wipe you out, absolutely. So with this pair, you want to make sure you put your stop losses in place, guys, because it looks like there's room for a lot of volatility. But we are looking at the weekly channel here, right? So guys, I think that's what we're looking for at this point, in my opinion. I don't see this moving up in an uptrend. Let me take this Fibonacci right here. This is actually more of a trend. So once again, here is another reason why we had that downtrend. I mean, like, all of these things are adding up now, right? We zoom in, we're drawing a trend line. A trend line is basically when you can draw a line and that line is being touched at least 3 different points. Now we know for sure we have a trend. So if we drew this line down here and we drew it connecting with there and just drew it straight across, look at this. Do you think it's a coincidence that this candle came up, touched this line? Remember, it's been resistance, resistance. There's no coincidence that it came and faced resistance again on this trend line and headed straight down. So there's a lot of things that are basically pointing at a very bearish scenario for this particular pair. Those are my thoughts on that. I don't see very many things to be a bullish case. I mean, if we look on the 15-minute time frame, and this is why I said we got to look out for a retracement. It's only a matter of time, just for a temporary basis, that we get a retracement. So we might have a retracement coming back up, for a bit, maybe even up to here, to come back up and meet this 200 moving average. But once again, that is short term. Okay, so a short-term trade might be coming. Looking on the RSI, I'm not convinced that we are going to have an uptrend at this point, because based on the strategy, for those of you who purchased the strategy, when you look at the RSI strategy, you know that the trend has not yet shifted. This is not a good time to get into the trade. Okay, so hope that you enjoy that, Aaron, and everybody else that's looking at it. Yep, those are my thoughts on the USD Swiss franc pair.